The first colony to die was New Shanghai, a mining world at the edge of Earth's solar system. Captain Yoon Min-ho watched from his invisible ship as the Dominion destroyers surrounded the small settlement. His hands gripped the control panel, so hard his knuckles turned white. "Captain," his tactical officer whispered, "we could take out one of their ships before they know we're here." "No," Yoon said quietly. "Admiral Kim's orders are clear. We gather information first, learn their weaknesses. Then we strike." On the main screen, they watched the alien ships open fire. The colony's shields lasted only minutes. The defense platforms exploded like fireworks. Within an hour, New Shanghai was gone. 3,000 people died while the galaxy watched and laughed. High Commander Vextar's voice filled the communication channels. "See how easily your colonies fall, humans. This is what happens when insects try to fight gods. Surrender now, or watch more of your people die." Dr. Park So-min stood in the secret control room deep beneath Earth's surface. Tears ran down her face as she watched the destruction, but her voice was steady when she spoke to the Bhatti fleet commanders. "All ships, this is control. Remember, they think we don't exist. Use that advantage. Study their movements, their weapon patterns, their communication systems. Every detail matters." The quantum phase cloaking technology was working perfectly. The 12 human ships moved through space like invisible sharks. The Dominion sensors showed nothing. Their patrols flew right past the stealth vessels without knowing death was so close. Lieutenant Choi Hana was aboard the flagship carrier, Silent Storm. She watched the alien formations and made notes. "They're not even trying to hide their tactics," she told her captain. "They think we're too primitive to understand military strategy." "What do you see?" her captain asked. "They move in straight lines, no evasive patterns. Their ships stay close together. They use the same attack formation every time." She pointed at her screen. "Captain, these aren't warriors. They're bullies who have never faced real opposition." Engineer Kang Do-hyun was working on improvements to the stealth system when the second colony fell. New Johannesburg lasted 2 hours longer than New Shanghai, but the result was the same. The aliens destroyed everything, killed everyone, and broadcast the slaughter across the galaxy. "The other races are celebrating," reported Commander Song Yi-jun from his fast frigate. "I intercepted their communications. They're taking bets on how many colonies we'll lose before surrendering." Admiral Kim listened to the reports from his command center. Each destroyed colony felt like a knife in his heart, but he kept his emotions hidden. "How are our people responding to the losses?" Ambassador Lee looked tired and old. "Panic in some cities, anger in others. The government is under huge pressure to surrender." "And the Bhatti fleet?" "All ships reporting successful infiltration of enemy patrol routes. They've mapped the entire Dominion formation. The aliens have no idea we're watching them." Dr. Park entered the command center carrying new data. "Admiral, we've learned something important. The Dominion ships have a weakness in their shield systems. There's a brief window during weapon cycling when they're vulnerable." "How brief?" 3 seconds. "But our quantum torpedoes can punch through in that time." Kim nodded. "Make sure all ships know about this weakness, but still no attacks, not yet." The third colony to fall was New Berlin. This time, the human defenders tried something different. Instead of fighting in space, they moved their ships close to the colony itself. The aliens had to be more careful with their weapons to avoid destroying the valuable mining equipment they wanted to capture. "Interesting," observed Captain Shin Yunji from her battleship, Invisible Wrath. "They want our facilities intact. They're not just destroying us for fun. They need our resources." Lieutenant Commander Park Jun-seo was coordinating intelligence from all 12 ships. The picture he was building showed something unexpected. "Admiral, the Dominion isn't as strong as they pretend. They have fewer ships than they claim. Most of their fleet is spread across the galaxy, keeping other races in line." "Explain," Kim ordered. "They're using fear and reputation instead of real military strength. The ships here represent a large part of their total mobile force. If we could defeat this fleet, the entire Dominion might collapse," Kim finished. "Interesting theory. Keep gathering data." The alien psychological warfare continued. Vextar made broadcast after broadcast, showing the destroyed colonies to Earth and the galaxy. Other alien races sent messages of mock sympathy. Some offered to buy human survivors as slaves after the war ended. But the humans weren't breaking. The Bhatti fleet had given Earth hope. Secret messages from Admiral Kim reached world leaders and military commanders. "Hold strong," he told them. "We have surprises the aliens cannot imagine." Captain Yoon had followed the alien supply convoy for 3 days. His ship stayed invisible just a few kilometers away from the enemy vessels. He learned their schedules, their cargo manifests, their patrol patterns. "They're not even posting. Guards," he told his crew. "These supply ships travel alone. No escorts, no security protocols. They think space belongs to them." The psychological effect on the Dominion forces was interesting to watch. At first, the aliens were confident and relaxed. They joked about the weak humans. They made plans for dividing Earth's resources among themselves. But as days passed with no human surrender, some aliens began to look nervous. Their communications became more harsh. Officers shouted at their crews. The easy victory they expected was taking too long. "They're getting impatient," reported Commander Song. "Some of their captains are arguing about tactics. The unity in their fleet is starting to crack." Dr. Park made another breakthrough with the quantum phase technology. "Admiral, we can do more than just stay invisible. The quantum field lets our weapons phase in and out of normal space. We can fire through their shields as if they don't exist. Are you certain?" "We tested it on asteroid targets. The results were perfect. Our torpedoes appear inside the enemy ship's hull and explode from within." Admiral Kim smiled. This was the first time his officers had seen him truly happy since the crisis began. "Dr. Park, you may have just given us the key to victory." The breakthrough came when Lieutenant Choi discovered something in the alien communication networks. "Admiral, they're using quantum entanglement for instant communication across the galaxy. But the system has a flaw. If we can inject false data into their network, we could confuse their entire fleet," Kim realized. "Make them fight shadows, while we strike from darkness." As the fourth colony prepared for attack, the Bhatti fleet was finally ready. 12 invisible ships carrying Earth's most advanced weapons, crewed by veterans who had trained for years in secret. The aliens still had no idea these ships existed. "All ships, this is Admiral Kim," he broadcast on the secret channel. "The hunting season begins now. Show these bullies what happens when they threaten humanity." High Commander Vexitar was giving another threatening speech when his sensors officer interrupted him. "Sir, we're detecting strange readings near the supply convoy." "What kind of readings?" "Unknown, sir. The sensors show something is there, then nothing, then something again. It's like ghosts in space." Vexitar laughed. "Ghosts? The humans are so desperate they're creating phantom signals. To scare us, ignore it." But across the Dominion fleet, other ships were reporting similar ghost readings. Sensor operators stared at their screens with growing confusion. Something was moving out there in the darkness between stars. Something the aliens had never seen before. Something invisible and deadly, ready to teach the galaxy that humans were not the weak prey everyone believed them to be. The first Dominion ship to die was a supply vessel carrying weapons to the outer fleet. Captain Yoon Min-ho watched it through his targeting system for 3 hours before striking. The alien crew was relaxed, confident, completely unaware that death floated nearby. "Target locked," his weapons officer whispered. "Quantum torpedoes armed and ready." "Fire," Yoon said calmly. The torpedo phased through normal space and appeared inside the enemy ship's engine room. The explosion was beautiful and terrible. The Dominion vessel broke apart like a toy, its crew dead before they knew they were under attack. "All stop," Yoon ordered. "Silent running. Let's watch their response." The alien fleet erupted in confusion. Ships scattered in all directions, searching for an enemy they could not see. Vextar's angry voice filled the communication channels. "Where did that attack come from? Find the human ship that fired on us," but there was nothing to find. Captain Yoon's destroyer had vanished back into the quantum phase field. Invisible and undetectable, the aliens searched for hours and found only empty space. Dr. Park So-min monitored the attack from Earth's command center. The quantum phase technology worked exactly as planned. "Perfect strike," she reported to Admiral Kim. "No trace of our ship detected." "Casualties?" Kim asked. "All crew aboard the enemy vessel. 0 damage to our forces." Kim nodded grimly. He took no pleasure in killing, but the aliens had started this war. Earth would finish it. The second strike came 6 hours later. Commander Song Yi-jun's frigate, Whispered Death, found an isolated Dominion patrol ship. The alien vessel was alone, far from help, scanning space for the mysterious attackers. Song's crew worked with deadly precision. They had trained for this moment for years. The frigate approached silently, staying in the quantum phase field until the last second. "Targeting their bridge," the weapons officer reported. "They'll never see it coming." The quantum torpedo materialized inside the alien command center. The explosion vaporized the ship's officers instantly. Without leadership, the patrol vessel drifted helplessly until its crew abandoned ship in escape pods. "Pick up their emergency transmissions," Song ordered. "I want to know what they're saying." The alien survivors were screaming in panic. Their messages spoke of invisible attackers, of weapons that appeared from nowhere, of death that struck without warning. The fear in their voices was music to Song's ears. Colonel Jang Woo-jin led the boarding party that captured their first alien vessel intact. His special forces team had trained in zero-gravity combat for months. When they found a damaged Dominion cruiser trying to repair its engines, Jang saw an opportunity. "Remember, we need prisoners for interrogation," he told his soldiers. "And we need their computer systems undamaged." The human soldiers appeared inside the alien ship like ghosts. Their stealth suits used smaller versions of the quantum phase technology. The alien crew never knew humans were aboard until it was too late. The battle was brief and one-sided. The aliens were larger and stronger than humans, but they had never faced opponents who could appear and disappear at will. Within minutes, the ship belonged to Earth. "Excellent work, Colonel," Admiral Kim said when he received the report. "What did you learn from their computers?" "The Dominion is weaker than they pretend, sir. Their fleet has only 60 major warships spread across hundreds of star systems. Most worlds are controlled by reputation and fear, not military force. And their weaknesses? Their ships are old designs, sir. Powerful but slow to change tactics. They haven't fought a real war in centuries. They're used to enemies who surrender quickly." Tilta Commander Park Jun-seo was building a complete picture of enemy operations from captured data. "Admiral, the Dominion forces operate on rigid schedules. Supply runs, patrol routes, communication protocols, everything follows the same patterns, which makes them predictable," Kim realized. "Send this information to all Bhatti commanders. If we know where they'll be, we can be waiting for them." The alien fleet was starting to panic. 3 more ships had disappeared in the past day. Each attack came from a different direction, at a different time, using different tactics. The humans seemed to be everywhere and nowhere. High Commander Vextar called an emergency meeting of his ship captains. The holographic conference room was filled with nervous alien officers. "How many ships have we lost?" Vextar demanded. 8 confirmed destroyed, his intelligence officer reported. 3 more missing and presumed captured. "We're also detecting equipment failures across the fleet." "Equipment failures?" "Yes, sir. Navigation systems, weapon targeting, communication, arrays. It's like someone is sabotaging us from inside our own ships." What the aliens didn't know was that human boarding parties were indeed inside their vessels. Colonel Jang's teams used quantum phase technology to enter enemy ships undetected. They planted computer viruses, damaged critical systems, and gathered intelligence before vanishing again. "We're fighting an enemy we cannot see," complained one alien captain. "Our sensors detect nothing. Our weapons hit nothing. How do we fight ghosts?" "They're not ghosts," Vextar roared. "They're humans using some kind of stealth technology. We just need to find the right frequency to detect them." But the quantum phase cloaking was beyond alien science. Their sensors were designed for normal space warfare. They had no way to detect ships that existed partially in other dimensions. Captain Shin Yun-ji commanded the most powerful ship in the Bhatti fleet. Her battleship Invisible Wrath had been saving its strength for the perfect target. When Vextar's flagship moved close to Earth's outer defense grid, she saw her chance. "All weapons, prepare for full assault," she ordered. "We're going to show them what a real warship can do." The battleship decloaked directly above the Dominion flagship. For the first time, the aliens could see one of their tormentors. The human vessel was smaller than their ship, but bristled with advanced weapons. "Impossible," Vextar whispered. "Where did it come from?" His answer came in the form of quantum torpedoes and plasma beams. The human battleship unleashed everything it had in a devastating first strike. The alien flagship's shields collapsed under the assault. "Return fire." Vextar screamed, but before his weapons could lock onto the human ship, it vanished again. The battleship had dropped back into the quantum phase field, invisible once more. The psychological effect was devastating. The entire Dominion fleet had seen a human warship appear from nowhere, nearly destroy their flagship, then disappear without a trace. The aliens finally understood what they were facing. "Admiral," Captain Shin reported, "enemy flagship is badly damaged but still operational. Their command systems are failing." "Good work, Captain. All ships begin Phase 3 of the operation." Phase 3 was Coordinated Terror. All 12 Bhatti ships struck simultaneously across the Dominion formation. They appeared like deadly flowers blooming in space, fired their weapons, then vanished before the aliens could respond. The enemy fleet fell apart in chaos. Ships fled in random directions. Others fired wildly at empty space. Communication networks collapsed as panicked officers screamed contradictory orders. In the space of 2 hours, humanity had broken the spine of the mighty Galactic Dominion. Ambassador Li Jinwu watched the battle from Earth's command center with amazement. "Admiral, they're retreating. The alien fleet is actually running away." "Not retreating," Kim corrected. "They're regrouping. Vextar is too proud to admit defeat. He'll try something desperate." As if summoned by Kim's words, Vextar's damaged face appeared on the communication screen. The alien commander looked beaten, his confidence shattered. "Human Admiral," he said through gritted teeth, "you have hidden ships. This is unexpected, but we still outnumber you. We still have more firepower." "Do you?" Kim asked calmly. "Yes. And if you do not surrender immediately, I will call for reinforcements from across the galaxy. Every Dominion ship will come here. You cannot hide from an entire armada." Kim smiled. "Commander Vextar, you are welcome to call for help. But consider this. How will you explain to your superiors that Earth's primitive ships destroyed half your fleet? How will you convince them that humans are still weak prey?" The alien's face went pale. In his arrogance and anger, he had not considered the political consequences of defeat. "If word spread that humans had outfought the Dominion, the choice is yours," Kim continued. "Keep fighting and face complete destruction, or withdraw and try to explain your failures to your emperor." The communication ended. Across space, the Dominion fleet hung motionless, unsure whether to fight or flee. But Admiral Kim was not finished with them yet. High Commander Vextar made his choice. Instead of retreating, he sent desperate calls across the galaxy. "All Dominion ships, emergency protocol. Converge on Earth system immediately. Maximum speed." Admiral Kim intercepted these messages and smiled coldly. "He's calling for help. Good. Let them bring everything they have." Dr. Park So-min looked worried. "Admiral, our intelligence shows the Dominion has ships spread across 200 systems. If they all come here, then we'll face them all at once instead of hunting them down one by one," Kim replied. "Dr. Park, are the Phase 4 modifications ready?" "Yes, sir. All Bhatti ships now have enhanced quantum phase generators. They can attack from multiple dimensional angles simultaneously." The reinforcements began arriving within days. Ship after ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Earth. The alien fleet grew from 12 vessels to 50, then to 100, then to nearly 200 ships of every size and type. The galaxy watched with fascination. News broadcasts across a dozen worlds showed the massive armada gathering. Everyone expected to witness humanity's final defeat. "Look at that fleet," laughed Zektor, a reptilian news anchor from the Vegan system. "The humans must be trembling, in terror. How can 12 primitive ships fight against 200 advanced warships?" But the humans were not trembling. Captain Yoon Minho sat in his destroyer's command chair, studying the enemy formation. "They've made a critical mistake," he told his crew. "They've gathered all their ships in one place." "How is that a mistake, sir?" his tactical officer asked. "Because now we know where they all are. No more hunting across the galaxy, no more careful planning. We can destroy the entire Dominion fleet in a single battle." Lieutenant Commander Park Jun-seo had been analyzing the alien ship types for weeks. "Admiral, most of these reinforcement vessels are old cargo ships with weapons bolted on. Only about 30 are real warships." "Explain," Kim ordered. "The Dominion spread their military thin across too many worlds. When Vextar called for help, most systems could only send merchant vessels with basic armaments. They look dangerous, but they're not real combat ships." Captain Shin Yoonji was preparing her battleship for the coming fight when she noticed something important. "All ships, this is Shin. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?" "What is it, Captain?" asked Commander Song. "The alien formation. They're clustered, together like frightened fish. No proper spacing, no defensive layers. If we hit them hard enough, they might collide with each other trying to escape." Admiral Kim called a conference of all Bhatti commanders. The 12 ship captains appeared as holograms in his command center, their faces determined and ready. "Commanders, this is our moment," Kim began. "The enemy has gathered their entire fleet in one location. They think overwhelming numbers will guarantee victory. They're wrong." He activated a tactical display showing the alien formation. "Phase 4 will be different from anything we've done before. All ships will decloak simultaneously and attack from multiple dimensional angles. The enemy will face weapons fire from directions their sensors cannot even detect." Captain Shin raised her hand. "Admiral, what about their superior firepower? Even with our advantages, they have more guns than us." "Captain, do you remember what I told you about submarine warfare? The enemy cannot fight what they cannot hit. We won't stand still and trade shots with them. We'll strike like lightning and vanish like smoke." Engineer Kang Do-hyun had been working around the clock to prepare the quantum phase systems. "All ships reporting maximum efficiency, Admiral. The enhanced generators can maintain multi-dimensional positioning for up to 4 hours of continuous combat." "Perfect. Dr. Park, what's the status of our new weapon systems?" "The quantum torpedoes are ready, sir. Each ship carries enough firepower to destroy 50 enemy vessels. But more importantly, we've developed something new. The phase disruptor." Kim's eyebrows raised. "Explain." "Instead of just hiding our ships, we can hide entire sections of space. We can make their own weapons disappear before they fire. We can make their shields vanish at the critical moment. The enemy will be fighting blind while we see everything." The battle began at dawn on Earth's eastern hemisphere. High Commander Vextar gave the order to attack, confident that his massive fleet would crush human resistance in minutes. "All ships advance, destroy every human vessel. Show the galaxy what happens to those who defy the Dominion." The alien armada moved forward like a metal storm. 200 ships with enough firepower to crack planets, their weapons charged. Their crews eager for an easy victory. Then space itself seemed to twist and bend. 12 human ships materialized simultaneously around the alien fleet. But these weren't just ships appearing in normal space. They phased in and out of reality, attacking from angles that shouldn't exist. Captain Yoon's destroyer struck the alien command ship from above and below at the same time. Quantum torpedoes appeared inside the vessel's hull while plasma beams hit its shields from multiple directions. The enemy ship exploded before its crew understood what was happening. Commander Song's frigate moved through the alien formation like a ghost through walls. His weapons fired through enemy shields as if they didn't exist. Ship after ship exploded as quantum torpedoes materialized in their engine rooms. "Impossible," Vextar screamed. "They're firing from inside our shields. How are they doing this?" His science officer stared at his instruments in terror. "Commander, our sensors show human ships in 17 different locations simultaneously. Either they have hundreds of vessels or Or what? Or they're operating in dimensions we don't understand. Captain Shin's battleship was the terror of the battlefield. Her enhanced quantum phase generators allowed attacks that defied physics. Enemy ships found their own weapons turned against them as the phase disruptors redirected energy beams back at their sources. The alien fleet fell apart in chaos. Ships collided as they tried to escape attacks from impossible angles. Others fired, wildly, hitting their own allies more often than their enemies. The perfect formation became a disaster zone of exploding metal and screaming crews. All ships retreat, Vexitar finally ordered. Emergency jump to hyperspace. But the humans weren't finished. Lieutenant Commander Park had prepared one final surprise. As the alien ships tried to flee, he activated the hyperspace disruptors. "What's happening?" an alien captain cried as his ship failed to enter faster than light travel. "Why can't we jump?" "The humans have trapped us," another replied in growing panic. "They're controlling hyperspace itself." The truth was simpler but equally devastating. The quantum phase technology could reach into hyperspace and prevent ships from escaping. The entire Dominion fleet was stuck in normal space, unable to run from the human attack. "Admiral," Captain Shin reported, "we've destroyed or disabled 130 enemy vessels. The remainder are dead in space, unable to flee. Casualties: 0 human losses, sir. Minor damage to 3 of our ships." Admiral Kim looked at the tactical display with satisfaction. The mighty Galactic Dominion fleet was broken, scattered, defeated by 12 invisible ships and superior human technology. "Open a channel to all surviving alien vessels," he ordered. Vextar's damaged face appeared on the screen, his arrogance replaced by fear and confusion. "How?" he whispered. "How did you do this?" "Commander, your empire made a critical error. You assumed that size and age meant superiority. You forgot that the youngest civilizations are often the most innovative. This is impossible. No race should have technology like this." "No race you knew about," Kim corrected. "Earth spent centuries fighting wars in our oceans, learning that stealth and cunning defeat brute force. We applied those lessons to space warfare. Around the galaxy, alien civilizations watched in stunned silence as news of the battle spread. The invincible Dominion had been crushed by the primitive humans. The balance of galactic power had shifted in a single day. "What do you want?" Vextar asked, his voice broken. "Peace," Kim replied. "Withdraw your forces from human space. Never threaten Earth or its colonies again. And spread word to every world in the galaxy. Humanity is no longer prey." As the defeated alien fleet limped away from Earth, other species began sending very different messages to humanity. Messages of respect, of alliance offers, of invitations to join galactic civilization as equals rather than servants. The age of human weakness was over. The age of human strength had begun. 6 months after the Battle of Earth, Admiral Kim Tae-ho stood in the Grand Assembly Hall of the new Galactic Defense Coalition. Representatives from 43 different species filled the massive chamber, all waiting to sign the Terran Accords. The change had been swift and complete. News of humanity's victory over the Dominion fleet spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. Overnight, Earth went from being a joke to being the most feared military power in known space. "It's remarkable," said Ambassador Lee Jin-woo, now Earth's chief diplomat to galactic civilization. 3 months ago they were laughing at us. Now they're begging for our protection. Dr. Park So-min adjusted her new uniform. She now held the title of Chief Science Advisor to the Coalition, and her quantum phase technology had become the foundation for a new era of peace through strength. "The irony is perfect," she said quietly to Kim. "They mocked our primitive technology. Now every species in the galaxy wants to learn from us." The ceremony began with formal apologies from the major alien powers. The Rigelian Trade Federation sent their finest diplomats to express regret for their unfortunate misunderstanding of human capabilities. The Crystal Consortium offered exclusive mining rights to 10 systems as compensation for their previous insults. Most satisfying was the message from High Commander Vextar himself. The former Dominion leader had been stripped of rank and exiled by his own people. His replacement, a younger alien named Kethrim, stood before the assembly with genuine humility. On behalf of the former Galactic Dominion, I offer formal surrender to the Terran Coalition, Kethrim announced. We accept full responsibility for our aggression and beg forgiveness from the human people. Fleet Admiral Kim, his new rank reflected Earth's position as the Coalition's senior military partner, nodded graciously. The past is forgiven, Commander. We look forward to peaceful cooperation. Captain Yoon Min-ho, now commanding the Coalition, Defense Academy on Mars, watched the ceremony with pride. His students included young officers from dozens of species, all eager to learn human tactical methods. Strange to think, he told his wife during a break in the proceedings, that my old destroyer is now on display in the Galactic Military Museum. Children from across the galaxy come to see the ship that started the revolution. The revolution had indeed been swift. Within weeks of the Dominion's defeat, 3 major alien empires had collapsed as their subject races declared independence. The rigid old order of galactic civilization crumbled, replaced by voluntary alliances and mutual defense pacts. President Lim Soo-jin of United Earth had adapted quickly to humanity's new role. Instead of seeking revenge or domination, she had proposed the coalition system, multiple species working together for common defense and shared prosperity. Power without wisdom is what destroyed the Dominion, she explained to the assembly. Earth offers our technology and military expertise not to rule, but to protect. We've learned that the galaxy is safer when all civilizations can develop freely. Commander Song Yi-jun had been promoted to lead the Coalition's Special Operations Division. His invisible frigate had become the template for a new generation of stealth vessels, crewed by volunteers from species that had once considered humans inferior. The best part, Song told his old crew, is watching alien cadets trying to master submarine tactics. They're learning that Earth's naval warfare experience translates perfectly to space combat. The economic changes were equally dramatic. Human innovation in quantum phase technology had opened new possibilities for transportation, communication, and energy production. Earth-based companies were now the most valuable in the galaxy. But it was the psychological transformation that mattered most. Captain Shin Yoon-ji, now Admiral Shin commanding the Coalition's first battle group, had seen it firsthand. They used to look at us like insects, she told a gathering of human officers. Now they watch our every move, trying to understand what makes us so effective. Fear has become respect. The signing ceremony was interrupted by an urgent communication from the galaxy's rim. Colonel Jang Woo-jin, now leading exploration missions in unknown space, had discovered something important. Admiral Kim, his transmission reported, "We've found the source of the Dominion's original power. Ancient ruins on a dead world, weapons technology thousands of years old. But sir, it's primitive compared to what we've developed." Kim smiled. The aliens had built their empire on ancient discoveries, never bothering to innovate or improve. Humans had created new technology from scratch, designed specifically for modern warfare. Ew. Commander Park Jun-seo, now Director of Galactic Intelligence, had compiled comprehensive data on every major civilization. His reports showed a pattern that explained humanity's rapid rise. Admiral, every successful galactic power eventually became complacent. They stopped innovating once they achieved dominance. They relied on intimidation instead of military effectiveness. And we're different because humans never had the luxury of easy victories. We fought each other for thousands of years, constantly developing new weapons and tactics. We never stopped evolving militarily. Engineer Kang Do-hyun had become the galaxy's most sought-after technology consultant. His quantum phase innovations were being adapted for peaceful purposes, transportation networks that could move ships instantly across vast distances, communication systems that operated outside normal space-time. The same technology that makes our ships invisible, he explained to fascinated alien scientists, can hide entire star systems from hostile forces. No civilization need fear extinction again. As the ceremony concluded, Admiral Kim received a private message from Captain Yoon at the Defense Academy. His former submarine officer was now training the next generation of coalition defenders. Admiral, you should see the latest class of cadets. Species that were ready to enslave us 6 months ago are now proud to serve under human command. Their parents might have laughed at Earth, but their children compete for the honor of joining our crews. The Terran Accords were signed with great ceremony. 43 civilizations pledged mutual defense and cooperation. Earth's representatives signed last, their signatures formalizing humanity's role as the coalition's military leaders. But the most meaningful moment came afterward, when young beings from across the galaxy approached human officers for autographs and photos. Children who had been taught that humans were primitive now saw them as heroes. Ambassador Lee watched a group of alien youngsters listening with fascination as Dr. Park explained quantum physics. "You know what this reminds me of?" he said to Admiral Kim. "What?" "The first time I saw submarine warfare demonstrated during my military service. I thought it was impossible, ships that could hide underwater and strike without warning. Now, we've brought that same concept to space, and changed everything," Kim agreed. As the assembly dispersed, Admiral Kim stood at the viewing port of the coalition headquarters, watching ships from dozens of species moving in perfect formation. Human stealth technology had been shared with trusted allies, creating a defense network that spanned the galaxy. Dr. Park joined him at the window. "Any regrets about revealing our secrets?" "None," Kim replied. "The Bhatti fleet was designed to protect humanity. Now it protects everyone." In the distance, a familiar shape moved through space. Captain Yoon's old destroyer, now flying as part of a mixed squadron including former enemy vessels. The ship that had started as Earth's secret weapon was now a symbol of galactic unity. "Admiral," Dr. Park said quietly, "I've been working on something new. The next generation of quantum phase technology. More improvements to stealth systems?" "No, sir, the opposite. Technology that makes stealth impossible. Sensors that can detect anything, anywhere, in any dimension." Kim looked at her with surprise. "Why would you want to eliminate our greatest advantage?" Dr. Park smiled. "Because true peace comes when no one can launch surprise attacks. If everyone can see everything, wars become pointless. Diplomacy becomes the only option." As they spoke, the first ships of the new galactic peace fleet were launching from Earth's orbital shipyards. These vessels carried both human stealth technology and Dr. Park's new detection systems. They would patrol the galaxy's trade routes, protecting all civilizations equally. The age of hidden fleets and secret weapons was ending. In its place came an era of transparent strength and mutual protection. The galaxy had learned from humanity's example that true power came not from dominating others, but from protecting them. Admiral Kim thought back to that day 6 months ago when the Dominion fleet had hung over Earth like storm clouds. The aliens had expected easy victory over a primitive species. Instead, they had awakened something that would reshape galactic civilization forever. "The funny thing," Kim said to Dr. Park as they watched the mixed fleet formations, "is that we never wanted to conquer anyone. We just wanted to be left alone. And now we're responsible for everyone's freedom. Strange how life works." As Earth's sun set behind the space station, casting long shadows across the assembly hall, Admiral Kim reflected on humanity's journey from ridicule to respect. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson about underestimating others. But more importantly, humanity had learned something about leadership. True strength meant using power to protect the weak, not to dominate. The massive alien ships hung in Earth's sky like dark metal clouds. Admiral Kim Tae-ho stood at the window of the United Earth Command Center, watching the galactic Dominion fleet with calm eyes. His weathered face showed no fear, only the quiet, thinking of a man who had spent 30 years in Earth's submarine fleet. "They're bigger than we expected," said Ambassador Lee Jin-woo, wiping sweat from his forehead. The diplomat had been chosen to speak with the aliens, but now he looked very nervous. Kim turned away from the window. "Size is not everything, Ambassador. I learned that lesson under the ocean many times. The alien fleet had arrived 3 days ago, 12 enormous ships, each one larger than Earth's biggest city. They came with messages of peace, but their weapons were clearly visible. The aliens called themselves the Galactic Dominion. They said they ruled over hundreds of worlds and billions of creatures. Dr. Park So-min rushed into the command center, her arms full of data tablets. She was young for a lead scientist, only 35, but her mind was sharp like a blade. "Admiral, I have the final reports from Project Bhatti." Kim nodded. "Tell me." "The quantum phase technology is working perfectly. All 12 ships passed their tests. The aliens cannot see them, cannot track them, cannot even guess they exist." Project Bhatti had been Earth's most secret program for 5 years. While the world watched and waited for alien contact, Kim and his team had been building something special. 12 ships that could hide in space like submarines hide in the ocean. Ships that could move without being seen, strike without warning, and disappear like ghosts. The communication system buzzed with an incoming message. On the main screen appeared the face of High Commander Vextar, leader of the alien fleet. His skin was gray and rough, his eyes were yellow, and his mouth was full of sharp teeth. "Humans of Earth," Vextar said with a voice like grinding stone, "we have waited long enough for you to surrender. Your leaders will come to our flagship now." Ambassador Lee stepped forward. "High Commander, we wish to discuss terms of cooperation, not surrender." Vextar laughed, a horrible sound that made everyone in the room step back. "Cooperation? You call your metal toy ships? You call your tiny weapons dangerous? We have seen your pathetic technology. A child from any Dominion world could build better machines." The alien commander stood up, his huge form filling the screen. "Look at your ships, humans. They move slowly through space like dying animals. Look at your weapons. They could not scratch the paint on our hulls. Look at your cities. We could turn them to dust in minutes." Dr. Park's hands tightened into fists, but Kim put a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Your entire species," Vextar continued, "is nothing more than entertainment. We have decided to make you our servants. You will mine metals for us. You will grow food for us. You will do exactly what we command." "And if we refuse?" Ambassador Lee asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "Refuse?" Vexatar's yellow eyes glowed with amusement. "We are broadcasting this conversation to the entire galaxy. Every civilized species is watching. They are laughing at you humans. They are betting on how quickly you will fall." The screen changed to show scenes from across the galaxy. Alien creatures in strange cities were indeed watching and laughing. Some were pointing at Earth ships and making jokes. Others were shaking their heads with pity. "See how they mock you," Vextar said. "Even the weakest races think you are pathetic. The Zalari fish people have better ships than you. The crystal beings of Korthan have stronger weapons. You are the bottom of galactic civilization." Captain Yoon Minho, standing quietly in the corner, clenched his jaw. He commanded one of the Bhatti fleet ships. For months, he had tested his vessel against Earth's best detection systems. Every time his ship had been completely invisible. "We offer you one chance," Vextar continued. "Send your leaders to us now. Bow before the Dominion, accept your place as our servants. Do this and we will let most of your people live." "And if we don't?" Kim asked calmly. "Then we will demonstrate why the galaxy fears us. We will destroy 3 of your colonies first, slowly, while you watch. Then we will come to Earth and show you what real power looks like." The transmission ended. The command center was silent for a long moment. Ambassador Lee turned to Kim. "Admiral, our conventional fleet doesn't stand a chance against them. Maybe we should consider—" "No," Kim said firmly. "I did not spend 5 years building Project Bhatti just to surrender at the first threat." Dr. Park looked at her tablets again. "All ships are ready, Admiral. The quantum phase cloaking is perfect. Once activated, even our own sensors cannot find them." "How long do we have?" Kim asked. "Vexatar gave us 6 hours to decide," Lee replied. Kim walked back to the window. The alien ships looked so powerful, so threatening, but he remembered hunting enemy submarines in the deep ocean, The biggest fish was not always the most dangerous one. Dr. Park, send word to all Bhatti commanders. Tell them to prepare for immediate departure. Admiral, Lee said desperately, even with our stealth technology, we're outnumbered. They have hundreds of ships across the galaxy. We have 12. Kim smiled for the first time that day. Ambassador, do you know what I learned during my submarine years? What? The enemy cannot fight what they cannot see, and they cannot prepare for what they do not understand. He turned to Captain Yoon. Captain, your ship is the fastest. I want you to reach the outer colonies first. Begin intelligence gathering. Immediately. Yes, sir, Yoon replied with determination. Dr. Park was already sending coded messages to the secret bases where the Bhatti fleet waited. Each ship was a masterpiece of Earth engineering, built in hidden facilities under mountains and beneath oceans. The aliens had no idea these ships existed. Admiral, Dr. Park said, there's something else. The quantum phase technology has an unexpected benefit. Our ships can attack from multiple dimensional angles. The aliens have never seen anything like. Kim nodded. Good. Make sure all commanders understand the tactical possibilities. The hours passed quickly. Earth's conventional fleet moved into defensive positions, making themselves obvious targets. The news channels showed frightened people in the streets. World leaders made speeches about staying strong. But in secret locations around Earth, 12 special ships prepared to launch. Their crews were hand-picked veterans from Earth's military forces. Each person had trained for years to operate the advanced stealth systems. Commander Song Yi-jun stood on the bridge of his frigate, checking systems one final time. His ship was smaller than the others, but incredibly fast. It could strike like lightning and vanish before the enemy knew what happened. Lieutenant Choi Ha-na, the tactical officer on the flagship, studied the enemy formation. The aliens had arranged their ships in a pattern that showed their confidence. They expected no real resistance from Earth. As the 6-hour deadline approached, Kim received one final message from Vextar. Time is up, humans. We see your pitiful fleet moving to protect your world. 12 small ships against the might of the Dominion. This will be over quickly. Kim looked around the command center. Everyone was waiting for his decision. The fate of humanity hung in the balance. All stations, this is Admiral Kim, he said into his communication device. Begin Bhatti protocol. Show them what happens when they underestimate the human race. Across Earth's solar system, 12 invisible ships began to move. The hunt was about to begin.